Where do the Warriors stand on LeBron being recruited over to the Bay?
Did you hear Rich Paul start that within the event? Warriors are pessimistic that event is going to take place. You know, it's just they really since the beginning they've just not thought they're at the top of the list. I talked to somebody last night that basically said they've been given no sign or hint that it's going to happen. And while we know LeBron has been difficult at times to contact directly in this process, Steph Curry clearly has contacted him directly, and Draymond Green has been vacationing with him. So I would think that the Warriors would know if it's leaning one way or the other. And all of my indications from the Warriors side is they believe it is not leaning towards them, and they're keeping a roster spot open, and they would love to have them, but they're not planning for it.
You say pessimistic, some would say realistic. Who knows?
I would love to see him and Steph Curry play. I would love to see that. That would be must-see TV. But I also would love to see him and Giannis play alongside one another. Yes. Like when we talk about all-time greats, Giannis Antetokounmpo is top 5 greatest power forwards of all time. In my opinion, he's knocking at the door and one championship away of being the clear-cut number 2 right behind Tim Duncan. And when you think about these two freight trains being on the same squad, on the same floor, coming at you, how do you stop it? I believe last year, LeBron James, he ranked number 3 in transition buckets. I believe that Giannis last year ranked number 7 in transition buckets. Their defense, you combine all 3 of those guys with Braun IQ and Bam and Giannis anchoring with Andrew Wiggins on the perimeter and Davion Mitchell, like they would be one of the greatest defensive teams in the history of the NBA. And Pat Riley made it very, very clear that I don't have time to wait. I'm not trying to wait 2 years. I'm trying to get this done now. And I get it. Right now, Giannis, he want to be Billy Badass. He don't have friends. He don't reach out to people. He don't do all that nonsense. I get all that, right? But if they're trying to get LeBron, he got to put his damn pride aside. At some point, you got to jump off the porch and you got to pick up that damn phone and call somebody. Because, Pat, hey, guess what? If I need to talk to you, damn it, I'm going to FaceTime your ass at 12 o'clock, midnight. If you don't answer, you going to get another FaceTime call from me at 6 in the morning till you pick up the damn phone. If you're trying to get something done, sometimes you have to get uncomfortable. And I think the best destination right now for what LeBron James is looking for, meaning sunny weather, because you're not going from LA for 8.5 years and trying to move to a city like Cleveland, Philly, or Indiana, where you're gonna have to deal with snow at some point in cold weather. You're trying to get somewhere where you could play golf, you could wiggle your toes in the sand, along with playing some great basketball. And last but not least, over this period of time, while we wait on LeBron, it have you thinking, and we all turn into investigators. And I got to thinking, last year, the most important part of the season for LeBron that I felt like something went off in his head is when Luka and Austin Reeves was hurt, and then he became the number 1 option again and primary ball handler in that Houston Rockets series. That right there gave him a different view and more life. If he goes to Miami, which he should, he will be that primary ball handler and that guy that he wants to be.
Now I heard you say superstitious. What you got any pregame superstitions that you do? You know, or pair of shoes? Or you got to make something.
I do it in game. Yeah. I do it in game. It's actually crazy that you said shoes, man. Every game, the shoes that I wear that game, I don't wear in any other game, no matter how good I play. So the shoes that I had on in that game where I just scored 42, y'all won't see them shoes ever again. And then I wear 2 pair of shoes, man. I wear a first half pair of shoes and a second half pair of shoes. And I've been doing that my whole basketball career, definitely throughout the NBA, man. So you feel me? 82 games times 2, you do my half. So that's just the regular season and then not counting the playoffs. So yeah, that's one of my biggest superstitions that I still do no matter where I'm playing basketball. That like I still do that to this day. And I played in Australia, China, and Puerto Rico, and I have had shit tons of shoes over in all those spots with just my superstition on how I am.
So you wear 2 different shoes per game, and you never wear them again.
Not in that season. If I wear them again, it'll be the next season. Like,
okay.
But for that season right there, that season right there, I do not wear them no more. So whether I give them away or they just get thrown in the vault in the closet with the rest of the ones that have been used in that season, they don't get used again until the next season.
All right, my man T.J. Jefferson brought up a great question. What size you wear, man? What size?
13, 14. 13,
Okay,
14.
we gonna have to talk.
Yeah, I mean, because
That's cool.
I'm a 13.
I got
You know,
some,
that's
I got
crazy.
some gems, man. I got some gems. I'm telling you, like, and they literally like don't got no scuffs on them. You'll never even know I played basketball in them. Honestly, man, like, it's wow.
You never know he put 42 in them.
You would never know.
I think what's tough about the Houston Rockets is that they have to face the Thunder or they have to face the San Antonio Spurs. Other than that, I mean, when you're looking at the team that they have put together, that is the problem. That is the ceiling that they're going to be banging their collective heads up against.
They have the same problem that those two teams have already solved, right? Which is how do you get those young players to grow and take that leap? And I think with the Houston Rockets, they were betting that not adding a point guard to the mix last year and waiting for Fred VanVleet to get back would do more for Amen Thompson's development, would do more for Reed Thompson's development. And then I think, and then I think Şengün is really the big guy that they are looking forward to making that big step. He
Has to.
started off the year so strong and then kind of tapered off towards the end of the year. I know they had some difficult conversations with him at the end of the year, just saying, this is what we need from you, this is what we expect from you in terms of habits and in terms of growth throughout the season, because he's been called Baby Joker for a long time. Right?
By Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, and he has that skill set. They love him as a person there, and I think they're just, the sooner he takes that next step, the sooner this team gets to be what they
Yeah, and KD Perk took a lot of responsibility, I think, at the end of last season. But there's only so many holes that one person can plug.
Yep.
That being said, it is Kevin Durant. You played with him, and we're talking about year 20. What are you expecting from KD?
Well, one, they didn't bring KD in and give up Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green just to be stuck in the middle. They brought KD in to bring Clutch City back and try to win a championship. And the only way that you could do that is by having chemistry and togetherness. I've been seeing a video that's been circulating around the internet of KD working out with Paolo Banchero, and I appreciate the mentorship, but that mentorship need to be going towards the guys that he's actually going to be on the floor with this upcoming season. I want to see videos of KD in the lab with Jabari Smith. I want to see videos of Şengün and Kevin Durant working out. That's what I want to see. When the Rockets were starting to be relevant again, we saw Fred VanVleet, the leader, be in the lab, and we saw Jalen Green working out with Fred VanVleet in the offseason before he was traded, right? But then also in 2008, we don't win the championship if we don't take a trip to Rome for training camp. We were forced to be alone, to be with one another for 4 weeks because it was nobody else there. We were forced to get to know one another. We were forced to have dinner with one another. And I always say this, when you're trying to win a championship, the teams that actually accomplish that goal, you learn more about that individual outside the lines. If I know more about Malika Andrews, Ramona Shelburne, and Mark Spears outside the studio, guess what? When we come into the studio, our chemistry and our show is going to be better. It's the same thing that applies when you're playing the game of basketball. Right now it's Jalen Duren, to be honest with you. When you think about what's going on with him in Detroit, I'm trying to figure out why it's taking so long. And this is a guy that made third team All NBA. This is a guy that is going to be one of their franchise guys alongside Cade Cunningham. And I get it. He stunk it up in the postseason. But a lot of young players have bad postseasons and they learn from it. This guy still was a 20-11 guy, and it shouldn't take that long. The last thing that you want, if you're the Pistons, is having this young man sign, walk into training camp frustrated. Now, all of a sudden, J.B. Bickerstaff got to have a coming to Jesus meeting and get him back on track. When right now, him and Cade Cunningham should be working out. Him and J.B. Bickerstaff should be communicating and seeing how they're going to feature him next year in the player, for his player development and him getting better as a certified number 2 option. This is a problem, and the Detroit Pistons need to hurry up and correct this and make it right.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I just talked to someone who said that negotiations on Jalen Duren are at a standstill right now, could take deep into August, could take quite a while. And I think that's because teams that tried to get Jalen Duren, the Lakers were one of the teams that pursued him. They just had a sense that Detroit was going to match anything that was offered to him. And so they can't afford to lose him, and yet it's going to take a long time because they can't agree on what his value is and how you use that value in building the team.
You know, someone close to Jonathan Kuminga, and he's somebody I'm intrigued about, said that he's in that long line of traffic behind LeBron James. Just waiting for him to pull over so they can get by, and DeMar DeRozan's in that traffic too. That he just, he said LeBron's a senior citizen of the league, driving 15 miles per hour on a 65 road. And, Kuminga that didn't get his $24 million exercise option. And right now, there's just not a lot of money out there, and they're trying to come up with stuff. They're hoping that Atlanta will do a sign and trade, but does Atlanta want to add some more contract? His name's been thrown out with the Lakers. I've heard maybe Minnesota may have some interest in him, but for Jonathan Kuminga, it's definitely wait and see, and just, hopefully you got enough cash to keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't think Peyton Watson is dependent on anything with LeBron James, but I do think he's a very important free agent because the Nuggets were confident they would keep him, and yet they haven't necessarily locked this in because there's other teams that are pursuing him. The Clippers are a team I've heard. The Milwaukee Bucks are a team I've heard. Like, there's teams with interest in him.
LeBron is making this decision. LeBron has all the information he needs. LeBron is kind of trying to figure it out for what's best for his family, him, his legacy, what he wants to do with his life. Is that kind of the right thing? And then we can kind of just put this to bed until you guys, until Mr. James the King decides to tell us he's coming to the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, just have a little patience with him and us. Obviously, Pat, is his choice. I have a job to do to set the table for him, but it's his choice. And in my conversations with Adam, which obviously, Adam, the greatest commissioner of all leagues, we understand where the league is at and things of that nature as it pertains to the schedule, but it's a very conflicting thing because this is a very important choice for him. You cannot rush it. I think he's earned the right not to be rushed. And so it's not a thing where you're toying with people's emotions or trying to make it about anything more than the fact that, hey, this man has a very important layered decision to make across business, across family, across basketball, and basketball is the business, obviously, but just have to be patient with him. I don't know, Pat. I wish I did know. I don't know, I don't know.
That's Connor.
I wouldn't even joke with you.
That's Connor right there. And
remember, Dort originally joined Oklahoma City as an undrafted free agent. He was the longest tenured member of the team. So let's say hello to our front office insider, Vegas Summer League party animal, Bobby Marks, who is finally back home and spending his off day with us. Bobby, thank you so much. Let's start with Oklahoma City here, because Lou Dort is really the latest piece from the title team to get moved here. Why exactly did they make this trade?
Well, it's financially motivated, Malika, here. And Sam Presti, their head of basketball operations, did something rare yesterday. He talked with the Oklahoma newspaper there and addressed that. Sam only talks before the season and after the season. And when you look at the Lou Dort trade, it saves them nearly $100 million in luxury tax savings. Their payroll has gone down from roughly $570 to $320 million. So it's over $300 million in savings here. And I think the big thing that Sam expressed is now it gives them the financial resources to go out and extend Cason Wallace this offseason, extend A.J. Mitchell next offseason here. And the most important, their core three players haven't been touched in this, with Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren still on this roster. So, yes, you lose a starter, but I think in the long run, it could probably benefit Oklahoma City just based on how they're allocating their finances.
So the crux of this was an apron move for Oklahoma City. But let's just zoom out here with everybody and evaluate the scope of this three-team trade, Perk. Who do you think got the best return when you're looking at this deal?
To be honest with you, I think it's Oklahoma. I mean, because when you think about, them moving on from Lou Dort, and shout out to Sam Presti, because he not only is he making moves, but he's trading these guys away to some good destinations. So shout out to him for doing right by his guys. But when you think about Cason Wallace and you think about A.J. Mitchell, those guys are going to fit right in alongside the big three of OKC, and they're going to take on a bigger role. It's just a difference when you walking into an arena or to a facility or even the start of the season, knowing that you're going to have a bigger role. Because we know that the Oklahoma City Thunder, over the course of the last two seasons, this young squad has been asked to sacrifice playing time, asked to sacrifice their game and their role. And so when you think about these two guys and what they're going to be able to do and more opportunities they're going to have without looking over their shoulder, it's going to help the Oklahoma City Thunder tremendously.
Perk, I feel like we might be sleeping on the fact that this move right here might have solidified the Atlanta Hawks as the best defensive team in the Eastern Conference. Because, again, you're going to have to defend with the influx of stars hitting the conference. And even after All-Star break, this squad had the second best defense behind the Oklahoma City Thunder in the entire NBA. And so, obviously, this is what the Thunder's possible starting five looks like. But on the other side, the depth chart, particularly for the Atlanta Hawks, These are some solid defensive dudes. Dyson Daniels, second team all defense. Jalen Johnson, a two-way type of guy. Now you add into the fold, and NAW, coming off of a great improved year. Now you add Lou Dort, who is known for the Dorcher chamber. This is a squad that now has a full wholesale 180, 360. You leave Trae Young, where everyone knew what the biggest issue was there. They immediately took a step forward. And then Lou Dort, 2024-2025, first team all defensive and fourth in EPOY. So you look at the Hawks, this could be the best defensive team in the Eastern Conference and at the top, rivaling the Thunder in the entire NBA. And